Swipe Up, episode 224. This is the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts and on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor. Palm Springs, California, to allow sex clubs to operate, but with restrictions. Palm Springs City Council passed a new rule allowing adult sex clubs to legally operate in the city. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's... I would imagine part of that is strip clubs, right? Because there's no strip clubs in Palm Springs, right? There's one in, what is that part? Is that Rancho Mirage? I forget where Showgirls is at. It could be Cathedral City. I think it's Cathedral City. In like a warehouse district kind of thing. There's a lot of weed shops in that area too. And it seems like that will be kind of the similar zoning that these establishments will be. But these sex clubs, it's like an interesting term. I don't know. Adult sex venues where adults can engage in sexual activities for less than 24 hours will now be legal. Right? What does that mean? Does it mean is that like prostitution? Because it's not like, I know there's places in Nevada that have legal prostitution. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing. And the valley's growing a lot. They just built an arena out here, which is insane. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Operators must work within public health departments to manage potential issues with STDs and drug use, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, legalizing these things will and forcing them to be regulated and to adhere to standards, public health standards, whatnot. It just protects everybody. That's why drugs should be legalized, right? Just regulate them. Give people who have problems with drugs, give them treatment. Let's not turn people into criminals. We need to get rid of the system we have of putting citizens in cages in order to become modern-day slaves, right? Fighting forest fires because they're imprisoned for... It's just ridiculous how all our systems are set up. The current zoning limitations only allow adult-oriented establishments to operate in specific areas, mostly zoned for manufacturing. The 650 foot away from residential areas will now be changed. Adult-oriented businesses cannot be adjacent to residential neighborhoods. Right? Okay. It has to be in shopping areas. Makes sense. Adult-themed merchandise or behavior cannot be visible from residential areas. Okay. Operating hours will be extended. Adult establishments need to only stay closed from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Right? So kind of like bars, I guess. City Council delayed its vote on easing public nudity restrictions, partially on nipple exposure by women. And discussions were made over gender neutrality on the issue and the possible criminalization of public breastfeeding for women. That's just crazy. Men can show their nipples. Women can't show their nipples. It is like the amount of insanity that comes along with religious fundamentalism that's in all of our laws and so much of our country is just insane. It is insane. It is insane. Interesting. I don't know what that means. I'm not even if prostitution was legal, I mean, maybe there'd be a time in my life where I'm sure there's been moments in my life where if it was available and legal and scheduling massage, then probably. And if it wasn't the stigma wasn't around it, sure. Get that release. I'm not in a relationship. I don't really enjoy casual relationships. I don't do well in casual relationships. I get attached. I actually prefer having sex with somebody I'm in a relationship with. I enjoy sex way more with somebody I'm in a relationship with. It's far less stressful. And the emotions that are involved, regardless whether you're in a casual thing or not, like, I don't know. But if there was just like a business setup, yeah, I probably would utilize it, maybe, you know? I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not a big fan of strip clubs, though. Stopped going to those in my 20s. Just don't really have a desire. I remember one of the last times I went, I was just like, I didn't have money to spend, and I was really tired. And it's like just constantly being bugged by these strippers asking to get private dances. It's just like, I feel bad saying no, right? Obviously, like, I'm supposed to be there to spend money, but it's such a, the way that's, I don't know. It's just something that I haven't been into. Just haven't had a desire since my 20s. Fun in my 20s. Super cool, you know, super cool in my 20s. But, yeah, interesting to see. It is kind of cool that Palm Springs, despite there being a lot of right-wing fascists in the valley, usually during the winter months when people are here, like they own a house, they own property out here that they live some of the year out here, and then they go back to wherever they're from, right? So a lot of people with money have places out here, so they also bring a lot of the right-wing mentality. Palm Springs itself is like a major destination for LGBTQ, so much more, Palm Springs specifically, much more open to logic and reality, it seems. So just a story, when it came across my feed, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I want to talk about that. And I tried to look it up. The only information was on the local newspaper's website, which you have to pay. There's a paywall. So I didn't get to do much in-depth research on the article as I would have liked to do. But a very interesting thing. Don't really know what that actually means, what sex clubs mean, but it's cool, man.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.